Morris here with The Processing Point. Welcome back to the second part in our series all about whether or not you're paying too much for your credit card processing. In the first part of the series, we discussed that the first step to saving a lot of money on your processing is getting all of the merchant service providers to play on the same level field. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the two valid rate structures that you can be billed for in your merchant services, show you which one's right for your business, and how picking that rate structure actually puts all the service providers on the same level field so that you can accurately determine who has the best rates and service for your business. This is good stuff and it's going to save you a lot of money, so let's jump right in. So just the other day I was in my local supermarket and it got me to thinking while I was standing in line looking at all the goods that I was going to be buying. What if retail stores subjected their customers to the exact same pricing that the credit card industry subjects its consumers to? So to exemplify my point today, I'd like to look at the two different rate structures that are actually valid in this industry and explain the difference by pretending that you have to go to your local superstore and pick up two items. We're going to walk into the exact same store and buy the same two items, a shirt and some toothpicks, but we're going to look at the store as if it were to offer tiered pricing on the one hand and interchange plus pricing on the other hand. So let's dive right in. So you walk down to your local superstore and you need to buy a shirt and some toothpicks. Well, when you walk inside, you realize that even though they have thousands and thousands of items, they actually only have three prices throughout the entire store. They have a qualified price of $10, a mid-qualified price of $20, and a non-qualified price of $30. So you figure, well, that's easy. That makes my shopping experience nice and convenient and easy. So you walk over, you look at the shirts, and you pick out a shirt. You see that the first one you like is a qualified item, which means that it's $10. So you throw it in the cart. Then you walk over to the toothpick section, pick up your box of toothpicks, and see that it too is a qualified item. So that's going to be $10 as well. You walk over to the cashier, check out, pay $20, and go home with your two new items. It's that simple. This is how tiered pricing works, not only in a supermarket scenario, but in the credit card industry. So now let's go back to that same store and take a look at it as if they were to offer interchange plus pricing. Okay, so here we are again, back at the same exact store to pick up the same shirt, the same box of toothpicks. Only difference is this time the store is offering us interchange or cost plus pricing. Now the biggest difference is when you walk through the doors, you still see that there's thousands of items, but instead of just being three prices, there's thousands of prices. Well, why, you ask? Because what they're doing with interchange or cost plus pricing is taking their raw cost and marking it up by a fixed percentage and then adding on a small per item fee. So let's see what your shopping experience would be like. You walk over to the shirt department, you find the exact same shirt that you purchased in the previous scenario, but this time you see that it's clearly marked with a tag for $7.50. So you throw that in your cart. Then you go over to the toothpick section and you see that they're clearly marked with a tag for $1.50. So you throw those in your cart. Now you go to the checkout counter. This time you only have to pay $9 and you go home a very happy customer. So as a customer, which would you rather have? Interchange, cost plus pricing, or tiered pricing? Well, that's a silly question. Obviously you'd rather have the interchange plus because it costs you less money. So let's take a look at how this applies to your credit card processing rates and why your business deserves interchange plus pricing. So what does all this mean for your business? Well, by now I think it's pretty obvious that the merchant doctor always endorses interchange plus pricing. But let's take a quick look at why tiered pricing actually blocks your ability to compare the rates and fees from one service provider to the rates and fees of another service provider. So right here we have our tiered pricing in red, and underneath that we have our interchange plus or cost plus pricing in green. So we have your qualified, mid-qualified, and non-qualified transactions. And let's say you just got a few quotes in because you're shopping for a new service provider. And one of the quotes came in at 1.09% for qualified transactions, and you start jumping up and down because that is the lowest rate you've ever seen, and it's a lot less than you're paying now, so you sign up for service. Well, the problem comes a couple months down the road when you realize that you've never seen a qualified transaction on any of your statements. As a matter of fact, all of your transactions seem to be defaulting up to the mid or even up to the non-qualified transaction rates, and your cost went up instead of down like it was supposed to. Well, the reason for that is because there's absolutely no regulation on what card types fall into the different categories from one processor to another. And that's what makes it impossible to compare the rates and fees from one processor to another. So this is exactly why you need to demand interchange plus pricing, because we all know interchange is not going anywhere. It's the raw cost to every processor in the country, and it's not negotiable. So when you get a quote on interchange plus, you're actually getting a quote on the markup to interchange to allow you the service of credit cards. Now, the industry average for that markup is 37 basis points, or in more plain terms, 0.37%. And the per item fee average rate is 23 cents per item. Now, you can do a lot better than that, but even if you were to pay the industry average on interchange plus rates, you would be way better off than you would ever be on a tiered rate structure. And that's why you need to demand interchange plus pricing out of your processor. If they refuse, you need to run like the Dickens and switch processors. It's a lot easier than you think, and it'll save you a ton of money. So this has been Rhett Bayless with The Processing Point. I look forward to seeing you next time, and remember to swing on over to Facebook and give us a like so that you can be a part of the Merchant Doctor revolution.